last week and was asked about President Trump. LeBron said, quote, he's dividing us, and added that he would never meet with the president. On Friday, President Trump tweeted LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. The I like Mike obviously means Michael Jordan, who put out this statement, I support LJ. He's doing an amazing job for his community. Shannon, what is your reaction?
Skip, I'm not surprised that President Trump took this stance. We know he's been openly and blatantly critical of black professional athletes or black politicians that he feels take shots at him or do not pay him the respect that he feels the office of the president deserves. He looked at athletes in the NFL that kneeled as SOBs. He called Maxine Waters, who's a House of Representative. Yep. He called her low IQ. He said Don Lemon was dumb. He said LeBron is unintelligent. He says if you come from Haiti or one of these African countries, it's a poop hole country.
He did.
So we know what he said. Although Greg Popovich, every chance he gets, throwing hand grenades his way. Steve Kerr, every chance he gets, throws hand grenades his way. Not one word earlier. Dan Rather, who's one of the great newsmen of our generation, Skip, go way back.
Yep.
Every day he's on, not a word. So we see what he's doing here, Skip, and this now it's not even dog whistle. He's just openly and blatant with it, and this is what I said all along. He's going to give a rise to a segment that feels it's okay to come out. Now I'm emboldened because I hear what he says. So if he says it, President of the United States, I can't be held to the same. I can be held to that's easy. If he's held to a standard where he can say whatever, who am I, Skip? So I should be able to get away with it. So I'm not surprised. But he picked the wrong guy, and he picked the wrong week. Skip, this interview was done on Monday. Don Lemon re-aired it on his show on Friday. And LeBron has been more critical. At one point, he called him a bum. Skip, all he said that he believed that in this interview, he believed that President Trump is trying to divide the country. And I believe he's using sports to do it. That's all he said. Yep. But that's not what ruffled Mr. Trump's, President Trump's feathers. It was when Don Lemon asked him, would he be willing to sit down or sit across from President Trump? And he said, no, but I would sit down and sit across from Barack. That what did it. You don't want to sit, because think about all the dignitaries from near and far that wants an opportunity to sit down, sit across from President Trump. And here it is, LeBron James, Skip Bayless, African-American, in America, I'm the president, the highest elected official in the land, and you don't want to have a conversation with me? You don't want to sit across from me? No. The man opens. How can you say someone is unintelligent? The guy's probably worth $500 million. And when they say, well, you know, he started on first base or he started on second or third base, LeBron James didn't even have a bat. He started from scratch. And to get with no college education, with no dominant father figure. He didn't have a dad. Now, and he mentioned as he got older, he got with people that treated him like his son and became dominant male figures in his life. But to get to where he got to, Skip, and to be able to do, he opened a school. Kids get breakfast, lunch, they get snacks. They go to school from 8 to 5. He says, I want a lot of the time because I want them to think that there's a better way than what's out there on them streets. All the great education. Your mom and dad, if they don't have college education, don't worry, but we're gonna get them a GED. We're gonna try to find them jobs. We're gonna get them placed. We're gonna make Akron better. And guess what? If you stick with this program and you graduate high school, go to University of Akron on my dime, on my foundation's dime. But he's unintelligent. If I go, the one thing, if there is a good thing about being 50, is that I know when a white person says someone is unintelligent, when someone says, because that's what's been said for the longest time. See, I see those I understand. He's taking shots at blacks because in his base, and we know that's a distraction. We hear what came out over the weekend, Skip. He knew that was coming out.
Yep.
So he uses this as a distraction. But you picked the wrong guy to say who's unintelligent. I'll talk about Michael's statement after I hear what you have to say.
So, to me, This is nothing short of pathetically comical on the president's part. To even suggest that LeBron James is dumb is just plain dumb. As I say over and over on this show, LeBron James has the highest IQ in basketball. And to me, in making off-the-court career decisions, no athlete has ever been smarter, longer than LeBron has. He just doesn't make a bad decision. And when it comes to talking about or taking stands on political or social or racial issues, has any athlete in the history of sports ever been more eloquent or insightful or courageous than LeBron James has? I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
You know who he's on par with, Skip? Ali.
He is.
He's our Ali.
It's different than Ali.
Yeah.
Because it was like Ali versus the world, but LeBron is leading a whole community forward. He's become a spokesman, and it's a beautiful thing to watch because it's not easy to do.
No.
Even the president's wife, the first lady, defended LeBron on this one.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to suggest that maybe even some of President Trump's supporters might have sat back on this one and said, hold on just a second. I think, Mr. President, I think you went a little too far with this one because not this guy.
Right.
Not this guy. You could maybe go over here, but you can't do that guy. And obviously, in the end, this only helps LeBron. This will make him even more popular and more beloved, which is great because he deserves it in this venue. So, to me, you know, obviously, I've criticized LeBron for basketball meltdowns. I even criticized him for the language he used in the pep talk to his son's 13-year-old team the other day, the AAU team. But in the big picture, you can't even start with this guy. So to me, it was just like flailing. You know, it's just, and again, you've pointed out, does he just need to create a distraction? Well, maybe there's not a better way to create a distraction than to suggest LeBron James is not smart, right? Is that the ultimate deflection, distraction?
The guy's opening up a school.
Yeah. I mean,
and you're going to say
well, come on. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is just comical to me. It's hard to even take it very seriously. But go on about Michael Jordan.
I was disappointed in his response. It's so far removed. His PR person releases a statement and says, I support LJ for what he's doing in his community. Skip, I believe if President Trump would have said, there's some dumb reporter that's sitting down with an athlete and making him look smart, which is very hard to do, a simple response might have been in order. But President Trump didn't do that. He went Don Lemon by name. He went LeBron James by name.
He did.
So when he does this by name, I believe the retort should also name him. And it should also be equally as harsh. This is the one time, Michael, you have a criticized get out of free jail pass because of what President Trump said about Don Lemon, what he said about LeBron James, given his track record over the last year, what he said about other prominent African Americans. And you support LJ, you support Edwards what? As a father? As a family man? What actually are you supporting? You see, Skip, Michael wants to swim, but he doesn't want to get wet. You see what he did here? Oh, this statement. And everybody, Michael Jordan comes to LeBron's defense. With this statement? That's not a defense. Everybody is like, well, you know, that he is the president. He's not thinking about that when he's calling people dumb. Yep. He's not thinking about he's the president when he's saying these people are from poop hole countries. He's not thinking about him as the president. But we should reserve that like, okay, we got to show him respect. Well, I'm going to respect the man that respects the office of the president. And he's not doing that. So I was very, very disappointed. And I was hoping, because I tweeted, Skip, Michael, I understand that Republicans buy sneakers and drink Gatorade and wear underwear. But he brought you in it. Shows you how, I like Mike. It's be like Mike. I like Ike. They're two different. Ike was Dwight D. Eisenhower. I like Ike. Be like Mike. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to talk about the president's intelligence or intellect. That's for you to debate. Okay. But I was very disappointed in Mike's response. I told you, I tell the story all the time, Jenny, that my grandfather told my brother and I, anything is better than nothing. but you two fellas are real close to nothing. That statement was as close to nothing as you could possibly get. That was nothing. And then what he tried to do, Skip, he tried to frame it. He said, LJ. There are very, very few people that call LeBron James LJ. It's normally that circle of his, the four horsemen. Richie Paul, Dallas, Maverick Carter, Mims, those guys initial. He wanted to make it personal, LJ. Really, Mike? The man says this, and all you got is that you support him for what he's doing in this community. After somebody took a shot like that at LeBron. Nah, that's not how we're supposed to do it. Simple as this. Kin or skin, we ride. You take a shot at us, we take a shot back at you. I'm not going to let you burn my house down, and all I'm going to do is run over your mailbox. Nah, bro, I'm coming back at you. Believe that.
Eye for an eye.
Yeah, believe it.
Okay, let's differentiate here. I always defend Michael Jordan on this show as the greatest player ever in any sport, but that's a basketball thing.
Yes.
This is an off the court. This is a political, social, racial thing that we're talking about. Have I ever defended Michael on that count? I have not, because he is indefensible. LeBron's in another league or universe from Michael, because he never even tried to play that game one time.
Right.
So you said that in the president's tweet, he named Don Lemon and he named LeBron James.
Right.
He also named Mike, and everybody knew who he was talking about, that was Michael Jeffrey Jordan he referred to. Well, remember, that is the sneaker-selling kiss of death for Michael Jordan, right? It put him in a bad spot. Like, I don't want to be aligned with you.
Right.
Like don't put me on your side, right?
Right.
So now he's got to respond quickly, PR-wise, a statement indicating LeBron and I are like that, right? He's got to go LJ. I've never heard anybody do LJ. Not one of his four horsemen have ever called him LJ publicly, like in an interview.
Right.
Like LJ and I were talking about. Nobody ever says that.
Call him LeBron.
But, yeah, he's LeBron. And so for Michael to go LJ was a little lame. It was a little weak. It was a little bit of a reach, like we're tight.
buddy.
No. So I'm with you on this, but he's trying to do damage control because the president had aligned Michael with the president. Like, I like Mike. It's like he's on my side. No, he's not. He's not on your side, but he's on nobody's side. Right?
Right. And that's how he looks at it, Skip, because he looks at it like, okay, there are people that in his base or whatever that buy sneakers, but this is the one time, Skip, he had to criticize the president, get out of free jail pass, because he could have said, Mr. President, I disagree with you, and this rhetoric and these comments, they're divisive, and they do not help.
Too far. That's too far to go for him. You can't get him to go that far. He's got to stay on the surface and just try to unalign himself with the president to protect his Jordan brand.
Well, you can't go swim without getting wet.
All right. Well, that's what just happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Well. And by the way, that line that Republicans buy sneakers too, that was about the 1990 Jesse Helms Senate race in North Carolina. And it was in Sam Smith's first book, The Jordan Rules. And it was supposedly a friend told Sam that Michael said that. And then there was a lot of disagreement about where it came from. And it's kind of stuck to Michael. I'm not sure he said that, but do I think that's sort of his sort of MO in life? Yeah, I do.
But at some point in time, Skip, at what point in time I can assure you, he's not going to lose 20 million people, 10 million people are not going to start buying Air Jordans because you criticize someone and you don't like the remarks that they're making. That's the problem. If every prominent person just sit there and say like, okay, that's the president, I don't want to get involved, we're in terrible shape.
I know, but he just didn't want people to sort of blindly leap to the conclusion that he's somehow a Trump supporter, like that. That would be.
No, we're not. Well, that's not a LeBron supporter because you talk about I support LJ. What you support him as what? What are you supporting LeBron doing? Because I know what President Trump said, and that's what you got.
No specifics.
That's my point. When he's specific in his critique, you need to be specific in your retort. And it's equally as harsh. But that's the thing. They let him get away with that, and even in his own party. Well, these comments are unacceptable. Say these comments by the president is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Because anybody could have said that. Who is LJ? Is Larry Johnson? You support Larry Johnson?
Maybe.
Say LeBron James' name.
That way. The other athletes, though, that came to his defense, that was pretty special.
Absolutely. He doesn't realize it, but he's doing a great job of galvanizing a group that normally that was
totally
splintered, but he's bringing them together.
I said that
Appreciate
from the start.